Welcome to Dear Business Coach, the podcast. My name's Elizabeth, coming to you from the Walker Consulting Works studio. Find one thing to move your business forward today. With conversations, spotlights, interviews, articles, and free resources. Listen, follow, and subscribe on social media, Dear Business Coach pages and groups. Dear Business Coach podcast. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. And don't forget Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. All it takes sometimes is one little thing to move your business forward today. Well, David, thank you for coming to the Dear Business Coach podcast today. Welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing today, Elizabeth?
Fantastic. Yes, we're recording on a Friday. Thank you for joining me. And I know that we have a lot to cover, so I'll do my best to not take up too much of the stage. I have your bio here, or what I call your bio, but your about section. The way that I found you was on LinkedIn. So I do want to let our listeners know that we can connect to you on LinkedIn, but also when we get started into your universe here with the Hello LLC, you're actually going to bring us into your world visually. So I'll let you take over in a couple minutes. But David Jones, CEO of the Hello LLC, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay. So your about section says that, first of all, you're helping everyone live life optimally. And David builds stronger, healthier relationships while assisting individuals and businesses to look inward, identify limiting beliefs, false assumptions, and roadblocks that have kept them stuck, helping them to overcome obstacles and move forward on their journey of success. David is the kind of CEO that has a burning desire inside to help individuals and businesses create their own return on time investment and don't know what steps to take or how to get there. Equipped with an extensive background as a C-level executive with marketing, strategy, and finance experience, David knows how to get you there. David has developed and implemented successful business strategies and solutions for Fortune 500 companies like Xerox, American Airlines, Hilton, and Geico. His expertise is in guiding clients to build their best brand, scale it into multiple revenues, and achieve return on time investment, aka time freedom. So pretty awesome, David. Why don't let me finish. You say if time was sold in stores, it would be sold out. Collaboration is the new competition. Stop by and say hello.
Yes. Yes. And you share that. I want to meet that guy. But the most important thing, especially when we talk about hello, it's about helping entrepreneurs leverage leading Web3 optimizations because times is changing, things is changing, and no better time to do that than now. And that's why we have a done for you system where people don't have to worry about, I don't know this, I don't know how to do this. We can teach you, we can show you, or we can do it for you. Just as long as you press the button and you do something different than what got us here won't get us there, especially as AI and Metaverse and Web3 and FinTech technology is right upon our doorstep right now.
Yeah, it is. Now, what the way that you and I started talking, if I remember correctly, is we exchanged commentary over DM and connected, but I actually learned of you because I first heard you speak on a live event, and we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. You host your own events, but I was listening to somebody, a third party's event on LinkedIn Live audio, I believe, and I was listening to you talk as we do. I'm probably making lunch or something and listening, and you were telling us in the audience that if you didn't already know, you are on the road with self-driving cars right now. And when you said that in that live social audio event, I thought, yeah, I think so. And I hadn't really thought about it. And that's when I started paying attention to you. And I thought, who is this David guy and what's he doing? And so then I popped on over to your profile and started poking around. So you're kind of you're a fun guy to listen to for a lot of reasons, but one of them is you're kind of full of data on how we're already in the future. So, as a background on you personally, what gets you excited about this? Um, before you started Hello LLC and got into helping businesses go from 2D to 3D, what's a little bit of your background?
Well, grew up in Houston, Texas. I was able to get a full ride to a college in Kansas called Benedictine College. Graduated. Then I was fortunate enough to get into the sales arena in telecommunications, to where I made the ranks of being a vice president within a year and a half straight out of college, to where I moved from Houston to LA, from LA to Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then, my mom got diagnosed with brain cancer, and I moved back home to take care of mom. And then, I got into some other businesses and went all the way to another C-level position. And at that point, that's when I took 500 flights in 4 years with this company, traveling everything west of Mississippi. And I went to go and call my boss one day to get her earlier flight to come home for a dentist appointment. And she told me no. I literally spent $1,200 the day beforehand at dinner with 3 people, didn't have to call, nothing. But when I wanted to get back home to get to a dentist appointment, she's told me no for $150 change fee. And at that particular point, when I knew she was on her couch eating Cheetos and bun buns because she rode her bike to work while I'm 1,200 miles away from the house, I knew at that particular point something had to change. It was going to be my health, where I was dead in the water, or, I was going to have to do something. And it really started out with my health, which is why we share with people your mindset is key. I had to release the weight from my mind to release the weight from my body. And we literally started out in this good old thing, network marketing, that a lot of people run away from, where I still was a C-level president. I still was traveling, but then I had this thing on the side, and this thing on the side saved my life. Where not only this thing on the side was able to help me, but it really got me around to people that wanted more in life and changed my mindset. And I went on this mindset journey where who I am today is definitely not who I was back then, but I'm glad I went through that transition, and we were able to find a way that our foundation that we put together for people, from our Biz in a Box to our other entities that we implement, we did that for us. And when we found a solution that worked for us, we then were able to do it for other people. And now here we are, as we transition in our business, we're now seeing this curve of utilizing AI and utilizing Metaverse. And even to your point that you said earlier, right, is that when I said self-driving cars, we've been utilizing AI, from grammar check, from Alexa to Siri. Half of you are not going anywhere because you're shopping on your phone and you're stuck to your phone. And so we're already in this Metaverse 3D dimensional world. It's now being brought forefront to just experience in a different way, which is why I share with people our cell phones is the new pagers. And that's hence the reason why Hello is really here to help businesses pivot from 2D to 3D. Only those futuristic, forward-thinking entrepreneurs that want to take that dive and look at this facts that we continue to share with them, the future's already here.
So I've heard you say this before, and I'm writing this down. I love this. Cell phones are the new pagers. You might not be the first person that has said that, but can I quote you on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when I think about the phrase going from 2D to 3D, and hearing you say that cell phones are the new pagers and that we're stuck to our phone, and it's that I'm not going anywhere because I'm stuck to my phone, I'm even having a hard time really understanding what you mean. Like, what do you mean I'm stuck to my phone and I'm not going anywhere because of that?
You look at your phone every bit of 5,000 times a day.
Yes, I do.
Right. And so when we create these 3D immersive Oculus or the Apple Pros that just came out, those are doing us a favor. They're actually on our eyes. When you have the Ray-Bans that have come up with the augmented reality glasses, they're doing us a favor. And we're seeing this technology as we've been seeing in the movies. And this is what blows my mind. And when Minority Report came out, early 2000s, everybody was like, ooh, you can move the screen like that. And now it's on your phone. So I remind people that anytime you see anything in the movies, it's already here. The new Terminator movie that came out not too long ago showed us that robotics was on its way. At the beginning of the movie, it talked about how this guy was replaced by the robotics, the brother was, and it was showed to us. It showed us Metaverse back then. It's been showing us these things. And I think one of the big things that I have to be able to address is, what is Metaverse?
Join me live in Roanoke, Virginia at the beautiful historic Jefferson Center in downtown Roanoke, Virginia, October 18th, live. Join me for The Power of Laughter, a masterclass with Clayton Fletcher. I've invited Clayton to teach us, what do professional comedians know that all business people should know? Get in touch with me directly. Reserve your seats at the Jefferson Center. Looking forward to meeting you there.
What is Web3? A lot of people don't know that. And so we have to start to where we're at now. Currently, right now, we're utilizing Web2, where we're being able to do videos, we're being able to send pictures and messages and things of that sort. That's Web2. What comes after 2? 3. And so Web3 allows us, in a simple way, Web2 is like us showing up to the playground as we did, and there were already pre-built, jumping and the swings. Those were already there. That's Web2. This is what you get. This is the playground. That's it. Web3 allows us to show up to the playground, and we get to build and create the swing sets and do whatever we want to do. And we don't have somebody telling us what to do. And it's a whole lot safer. The metaverse is just an extension to that playground that can be utilized for games that a lot of people think about when they hear metaverse. But really, it's a 3D dimensional experience that we get to no longer utilize Zoom. We no longer have to use Teams or some of these old 2D platforms. We literally can jump into this 3D dimensional world and create and do anything and everything we possibly can. And this is where, I can show you better than I can tell you at the end of the day, because it's like sharing somebody that's listened to the radios in the 30s and 40s, and all of a sudden this TV comes along and you're like, what? I like this radio I've been accustomed to. But then when that person experiences radio, what? I'm never listening to radio again. I'm going to TV. And this is the transition that we're at, that people are more so unsure and unaware and unknowledgeable about what it is. And that's what we do. When it's the unknown, we discount it, just like we did the dishwasher, the microwave, electricity, internet. We're right there at that phase to where now we're realizing, oh my God, I can speak, I can think at the speed of thought, and I can create whatever I want to. And there's now enough abundance for us all, because now we can show up to the playground and create these different, areas that other communities want to go to. So that's really what it is, to just make it short, simple, and sweet. We're moving to the 3D dimensional world. And we're already there, utilizing these filters on TikTok, on Instagram, on Zoom. Ladies are using the bold glamour. That is a version of, metaverse. You're altering what we experience, and it gives you a better experience. So that's the future.
So right now we're on Zoom, and I've asked you to kind of take the reins here, and you can take over the screen, or the screen will be on you, right? So the way that for viewers on YouTube, for example, your screen will be the primary view. So there we go. Okay, so you are showing us instead of telling us now. So I'm going to let you explain what I'm looking at, what we're looking at, even though I've been here before. I think we're about to get a tour.
Absolutely. So prime example, let's just utilize Zoom as an example. When you show up to Zoom, as you see us on the side, we both have to show up. We both have to sit here and cheese and smile, and hopefully we don't have nothing in our teeth, and we got to worry about the background and all the rest of that. Now with the metaverse, you get to jump into this 3D dimensional world where most people think you have to have the Oculuses, but literally you can jump into our Hello Plaza from your cell phone, your laptop, your iPad, or the VR headsets. And this will allow you to come in at a simple avatar to where now we can take away the screen and I can maneuver in this particular area. As you see in our Hello Plaza, we have our actual YouTube playing in here where we can share our screen. I can take myself off of mute. I can actually put myself on camera as well at the very top. This literally, is a completely different way to experience where now people come into our Hello Plaza and they can come into our actual, our penthouse that we have, that we can be able to host different events. If you're an author, instead of doing a book launch at Barnes and Noble, you now can have it in our Hello Plaza where you can invite people from all around the world instead of just that one location, and you paying Barnes and Noble anywhere from $500 to $5,000, depending on the location, giving them 30% of your book sales. And you also have to pay for the employees that are working that shift. And so this takes it to a completely different level, especially if you have a podcast where instead of utilizing a Zoom, you can come in here and have your actual podcast live, right? Or record it and be able to showcase in a different way. As you can see, Miss Roberta Pacino, Al Pacino's sister, she's been able to join us in our Hello Plaza to where now she's able to set up her entire storefront in the Hello Plaza. And so what I'll do is I'll be able to take you over to the to our Hello Plaza area. And while we wait, if you have any questions, please do, because this might take just a tad to get downloaded because we're on Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. Okay. So yeah, well, let's see. Well, a couple of things. You said that I wrote down the word safer. That caught my attention. Um, and I know that we're already accustomed to using, some of these tools like you said. But in this way, you can invite like a room full of people and be having a live event. While I'm watching this, we're looking at what feels like a mall or a shopping space. I was at a mall yesterday, and it was really depressing. And I felt it was depressing. I went to a store that I thought, well, at least this store's still here. It's a going out of business sign. And so what I'm looking at now looks like if I'm a retail store, I can create an experience. I know I'm a podcaster, but a lot of us are doing more than just a podcast. So you're about to show us some more here.
Absolutely. And so prime example, Miss Roberta Pacino, she is an amazing artist to where she's able to showcase her artwork, to where she has her Etsy store set up. She has her fine wall art set up. You can discover more about her. She can give away her free calendar. And then in this back room that I'll take us to here in a little bit, this is her studio, to where as an artist, she doesn't have to go and ask a restaurant or rent out a gallery to showcase her artwork. She can say, hey, come into my virtual world and come check out all my artwork in my actual metaverse where anybody can see it from around the world. And she has her podcast that she does as well, that people can come and join her live podcast. And instead of sending people to Spotify, people don't download. You ask them if they downloaded to listen to your podcast. No, girl, I'm sorry, I forgot. And now you literally get to take them into this actual world and they get to see it in a completely different way. And they can come and watch it live, ask you questions. You can virtually do your master classes, your webinars, anything you can possibly think of, you can be able to do, especially when you talked about, not everybody's podcasters. This is Miss Marilyn Clark. She's able to showcase, her actual business from her DIS membership program to her actual book in here. She also showcased where people can book a consultation with her. And so literally, this is her new website. And this is what I share with people, especially utilizing our Biz in a Box, where you have a QR code that instead of you going to a networking event, somebody handing you a business card, crusty, dusty business card, and then going in your wallet, going in your purse, going in your cup holder. It's never going in your phone. That person's never taking your card and putting your information in there. Now you can say, hey, scan my QR code, go to my Metaverse store. What? Metaverse? I thought you needed the VR glasses. No, you can go right from your phone right here. And now Miss Marilyn gets to take them on a full tour of her business from her phone in her actual storefront. It's not going to a website where it has a whole bunch of reading static and all that other stuff. This is a different experience where I can assure you, hey, Miss Marilyn, let me go ahead and book that appointment with you right here. Boom, book that consultation. Or hey, let me go ahead and get your book right here. You're not taking them to Amazon, where Amazon is getting 30 to 60% of your book, right? And this is where we showcase and monetize and help businesses and enterprises really, right, be able to set themselves apart and utilizing this technology. And a lot of people think that it's not here. Ask me why Nike is here. Ask me why Walmart, why Gucci, why, Johnson and Johnson, why DHL, why Hyundai, why Dubai is building out a whole entire metaverse world already, because Web3 is where we're already at. And a lot of the times us as entrepreneurs, we have our head so much entrenched in our business and not looking at the forward of what's already happening. And we're like, oh, that's not for me. And it's more so it's not for you. You just don't know enough about it yet. And a lot of the times we want the instant gratification of what is this going to do for me now? What is it going to do for you if you don't get in here? Because I can assure you, this is going to go up just like Google, just like Amazon, just like Bitcoin did, where people knew about it and they didn't take the opportunity. And now it's way too expensive for them to even think about it. Just like Snoop Dogg over in Decentraland, you got to come with $100,000 just to even get a piece of property by him.
Okay, so now you're highlighting something that I'm not sure I'm quite up to date to be able to even ask the question. When we're talking, I was going to ask you to go in this direction though, so you've already started steering in that direction. What is it? How does it work when I hear you talking about it? Kind of like real estate, right? So you're saying we're using the word metaverse, and I get the 3D experience, and now is it like there are certain spaces that are more expensive and we have celebrities and major brands that are like securing space? I guess I'm not sure if I understand conceptually, like if I can afford to jump into the metaverse and have a store that looks like this, or a theater or what have you for the podcast, what is my chance for competing against big guys? Big
Well,
brands.
that's a great question. Simple, short, as I can make it, just to get into our Hello Plaza, you can get an entire Hello Plaza storefront and the back office that I'll share with you, the studio, for $697 right now. That's one time, and then our monthly fee is $15 a month just for your rent in our Hello Plaza. And so that in itself is an investment that you cannot take for granted, because as we move forward, and more companies and more things come into play, this is going to increase in price. And so when we talk about the metaverse, I want you all to be able to take the word metaverse and change that to internet. Okay. And in the internet, right now, there is Google, there is, HEB, there's different websites that we go to when we go to the internet. Imagine metaverse being your Google page. When you go to your Google browser, you type in what you want and you can go to different URLs. Same case scenario with the metaverse. When you jump into the metaverse, like going to your app store on your mobile phone, you can download different apps. Those apps have different experiences. They do different functionalities. That is the same thing about metaverses, that you can go into it and majority of the people have went to go play games, right? And just like with any game that we get for Christmas, we play with it for a little bit and we're done with it. And then we're not looking at it from a business aspect, which is why I share with people when they do come and talk about the metaverse, How much time have you spent in there? Have you actually went in from Oculuses, and there's different options, and what did you go in there to do? Did you go play games, or did you actually go find a way to build your business? And when I decipher those questions, that right there lets me know the mentality that they're at and the thought process that they have with Metaverse, because only 16% of people truly know what the Metaverse is. We have the privilege of being, worked with Grant Cardone. I have a whole entire TikTok where I asked Grant, I said, hey, Grant, have you thought about putting 10X into, Metaverse? And have you considered, moving the actual convention in there? And if you need help, we can help you out. His rebuttal, and this is not by quote, but somewhat, David, if I could figure out how I could put my real estate into Metaverse and not get in trouble with the SEC and get in trouble with this, that, and the other, then I would love to, but I don't want you and I to go to jail. And that right there just let me know he knew absolutely nothing about the Metaverse, especially me knowing about his business, that he has about 40% of his business that doesn't have anything to do with real estate. He could literally be able to come in here, set up shop, be able to showcase his courses, his books, all of his affiliates, be able to do his masterclass, do his lives that he does on Instagram in a Metaverse 3D dimensional world, and have a completely different experience. And most businesses and most entrepreneurs don't know that, which is why I share and I continue to share. If you're using Zoom for your business, then you're going to be utilizing Metaverse, because this gives you a 50% increase in engagement. Okay. Utilizing the Metaverse gives you a 40% increase in your brand recognition. And this is where the facts come into play that most people don't listen to, that they also have to understand that employee engagement in the Metaverse increases by 50%. If you have a retail store, it's going to increase your retail sales up to 20 to 30%. Training and efficiency. Instead of that crusty, dusty morning training call that everybody gets on, being in the Metaverse increases your actual improvement of retention by 75%. Me going to an HR department and saying these stats will blow their mind, and does blow their mind, which is why they say, hey, how can we get in here? And the biggest thing is, if you got a bigger R&D research team than Nike, than Gucci, than Hyundai, than Ford, than JP Morgan that just opened up their own private Metaverse store, I want in on that, because they know what's happening and we sometimes fall behind, or we allow our feelings and opinions to get in the way.
Well, that is intriguing. It sounds to me like these big names are building, building behind our backs, if you will, and we don't even know what's happening until, like I said yesterday, I was in a physical shopping mall, and it was just like, I don't really think I want to go back.
Yeah.
And so it feels like that's probably what you're explaining to me right now, is that those big brand stores are shaping up to provide this kind of a shopping experience. So let's see here. Let me look at my notes, because I was listening and I don't want to forget where we were going next. Oh yeah, I want to ask you about the live event. So I'm getting a feel for how the space looks and feels, and also want to remind again, listeners, that I can find you on LinkedIn, but Hello LLC is where I come to actually meet you, engage with you. If I am going to find you on LinkedIn as well, there are ways to connect with you and jump into your events there. So there are three weekday sessions, right? And then some events that happen on the weekends. And each of these live events, looking at your schedule on the Hello LLC website, it looks like Tuesdays, you have said that you do how-tos, and then you have Wisdom Wednesdays, and then you have something on Thursdays. So do you want to give us a little briefing of what we can expect on, like, during those sessions, during live events, if we were to jump into one of those?
Yeah, sure. And we share with people, look, this is where we come together as a community, because community is the future of connection and, really collaborating. And our How-To Tuesdays is where we drop amazing information on strategies, tactics, newer strategies that work, utilizing AI and implementing, Web3. Just this week alone for our How-To Tuesdays, we had, stop scrolling, start selling, social media strategies that convert. And, for our Wisdom Wednesday, we talked about, don't be a blockhead and understand crypto versus, blockchain, and get your questions answered. Well, really, this is a Q&A where we pick different topics and we're able to talk about it, showcase it. We also are able to implement, a lot of our chat bots that we create to actually have these conversations with us as well. So it's just not me and Tara talking. We're actually using AI in our actual, rooms to have that dialogue and conversation where it creates a completely different experience, where it's not just Tara and I showcasing what we know, but now we're utilizing this learning language model that has all this information to give us, its aspect, which is off of facts. And then, our Thursdays is our Hello Pivot. This is where we have our amazing podcast. We invite guests. I know you'll be a guest on our podcast here pretty soon to come and visit with us. But this is where we have conversations of other people's stories, because we share with people your story is your glory. And it's more so to help other people overcome their landmines and for you to remember how far up the mountain you've came. So our world is your world and your friends are our friends. And together we're being able to build our community so much further. And we really talk about collaboration is the new currency, right? And the currency is the energy that you bring. And that's why we share, change your energy, change your world. And this is what it's all about, is raising your vibrations at the end of the day.
Well, it's the engagement piece is fascinating because that is one of the number one, guru driven thing to say, I guess, but it's true, right? Is that if you're getting engagement we spend a lot of time trying to be available to create engagement, receive engagement, and provide engagement. I know I'm on LinkedIn and other online platforms anytime I'm near my computer or my phone, because I want to also show up for people that I want to show that I am engaging with them too. So if I am looking to network, if I'm looking to deepen the connections that I already have, this looks like a whole new way to experience people. Where do I go to start a conversation with you? What's the preferred way to find you here? I mean, you can give me the URL, but you said I don't have to have oculars to experience the Hello LLC, do I?
No, not at all. You can go to our Biz in a Box, which is more than just a static website or just a traditional landing page. It's the Hello LLC.io. That is where people can go into our information, where it gives them our calendar of our events, where you could drop into our YouTube, into our LinkedIn room, into our TikTok. I mean, we stream our rooms across the platforms of all these platforms, and we showcase this live as well with Tara and us being in here. So literally go to that one app, one tap, and you'll be able to get all the information you want to. If anybody wants to book a demo, we have a 30-minute consultation in there where you can get a free demo with us as well and come and learn more. And this is what we share with people. There's 4 things that are way expensive, and they're on our bodies. And it's a closed mind, it's a closed mouth, it's a closed heart, and it's a closed hand. And we have to be able to open those things up, especially a closed hand, and investing in our future and our business, and not let this technical debt catch up to us as it did with so many other companies, where technical debt can cost you 40% more by not handling, the situations at task right now. And that's implementing this AI and Web3. As you shared earlier, these companies aren't doing it behind our back. They're loud and proud saying, hey, we're here, just like BMW and Meta have combined together. When these self-driving cars come together, what do you think you're going to be doing in the car? You think you're just going to be looking out the window? No, you're going to be in a 3D immersive environment.
Hey
it's your host, Elizabeth, again, to remind you about LinkedIn live audio every Monday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Join me for podcasting for executives who speak, and that's on my LinkedIn profile, live audio. Tap my profile page when I go live, and subscribe to email at dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com/subscribe. That link is also in my LinkedIn profile, so you can receive updates for LinkedIn live audio events. Looking to meet you there.
And BMW and Meta have already started working on that to why when you're in the car, your screen can turn into a 3D immersive world. You can even put on the Oculuses. And so this is where we have to understand that the future is changing, even with robotics, right? This AI was just the beginning. This robotics, now that we have this AI, is going to be put into this robotics. iRobot, don't let that movie scare you. This is where we've all been going. As I said, the movies have been telling us where we're going this whole time. You just got to pay attention. And the federal government and everybody else, if you're looking that far.
Yeah, that's true. I did listen to you all talk last week. So that would have been Wednesday when you all were talking about like crypto 101. It felt like a vocabulary lesson, which is exactly what I need. And I learned a whole lot that day, actually.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fascinating. And I've been to a couple of your events, and honestly just jumped in that day, and you guys were talking about, like you said, the difference between crypto and blockchain. And I stayed a lot longer than I thought I was going to, because I just brought the phone with me, again, doing chores and thinking, oh boy, you guys are really easy to listen to. I could follow you, and I don't know anything about, I need that class. But I could understand exactly what you were saying. And I feel a little bit smarter from coming away from that 30 minutes to an hour with you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, what am I forgetting here? Is there, is it hard? Is it hard to go in here and learn how to build, as you say? Maybe I like my 2.0 website because it feels easy to just plug in whatever they already have on the platform. Is this a whole lot more difficult?
No, it's not. Once again, prime example where you see this discover more button, I literally can click here, and this takes me back to the traditional 2D, right, website where people are able to interact between both worlds. And so I'll skip over to this screen to where, this goes to our biz in a box that we build for people that literally allows them to be able to go from 2D to 3D. So if people do have their traditional website, we literally can put a link on their website, or majority of our clients say, hey, what is this biz in a box? This definitely takes my crusty, dusty website and my old-fashioned, my landing page to a completely different level, to where now, just like in Chef Andy's, you can get all his information, get his download, look at his AI video and learn everything. And then literally he has a button on here that shares with people, hey, come visit me in my Metaverse storefront. Boom. And so people can click that button and they go right into the storefront that we were just in. So this allows people to pivot from 2D to 3D, and the business owner be able to give their customers an option where they want to go. And once again, I talk facts, not feelings. 70% of people want to do business with companies that have an immersive environment. And remember, you're probably sitting there, I don't want to go in there, but the average age of the world is 30 years old. And this is where I tell my entrepreneurs that are more experienced, it's not about you. It's not about what used to work. These email campaigns, these blogs, these newsletters, that is outdated and old. Nobody's reading those things. You literally have 7 seconds to get people's attention. And if I could take somebody into a 3D immersive world compared to the old school social media, that average, we're all getting 30 seconds of watch time, where the average watch time in my metaverse is 9 minutes. Imagine if somebody spent 9 minutes looking at all of your content and what you did. I think that would give you a better chance of selling. And not to mention another stat, the metaverse brings 60% brand loyalty and repeat customers back to your business. This is an experience. I talk facts, not feelings. That's JP Morgan stat, not mine.
So yeah, an experience of you probably are familiar too with some of us when we think about where do we want to spend like time or money when I'm thinking about like a birthday or an anniversary. There's a lot of us that say we'd rather have an experience, right? So you're probably talking to those of us who feel that way in general about spending time and money too.
And just for an example, when we see our kids play Fortnite, when we see our kids play, Minecraft, or we see them talk about, Sandbox or Decentraland, and some of these other worlds, we see it. And we deceived people too when we used to share with people, hey, your kids, they're doing this, that, and the other. And we actually invested and went deeper. It's like, whoa, those worlds don't look nothing like this. And so when you look at, Fortnite and some of these other worlds, yes, those are full of games, right? But in a world like this is geared towards entrepreneurs to showcase their business in a completely different way. And it's not pixels, it's not boxes. This truly looks, realistic for people to implement, and put their business in.
Well, you have probably a whole, like you said, a couple of hours you could actually do a whole tutorial, but that's why we want to come to your events, to your live events during the week. And I can tell you guys put a tremendous amount of detail into making sure those live events are full of detail. Well, I said detail, but like you say, facts, not feelings. And so every time I listen to you, I really pick up a lot of data that maybe I couldn't put my finger on, before. So I want my listeners to know, your listeners now, to know that you really are a wealth of information, a wealth of information for several hours a week, free of charge.
That part, right? And of course, if people want more, we have our Pivot membership where they can get more access to us, right? We then create, the Biz in the Box, the AI Motion Works, and then, having people come and join us into the metaverse. And it's really about, as we share, we can talk till we're blue in the face, but until you change your energy, you change your world, nothing will matter until you make the decision to say, okay, I'm ready.
So let me wrap up here with you, because I'm glad that you said that. I did write down when you were speaking a few minutes ago about how, you personally want to share, it sounds like, with people how, like you said, to release something from the mind is what helped you release something from the body in terms of making a change for yourself. So that's in and of itself the type of person I want to know, and the type of person I want to do business with. And collaboration is currency, as you said earlier too. So that's why we're talking today. Now, one thing that I have started asking, one question I've started asking my guests, that is, we all talk a lot about outsourcing, or using services that help you do things faster, that that take things off of your plate and your day-to-day tasks. Is there something, David, in your business that is something you could outsource, or you could pay somebody to do, for example, bookkeeping, but you don't because you like doing it yourself?
We have several team members that are outsourced that handle different portions of our business. And that's why we share with people, hey, look, you're great at the training, but you're not great at the transaction. And so you have to outsource that to other people. And so we live by that as well, where we have other people take care of things that we're not great at. Right? We're great at what we do here, but we're not great at other areas. And this is what investing is. And, we do have the time, we do have the money. It's just, where are your priorities, right? We have money for a purse. We got money for all these other odds and ends. The average person is spending $13 per meal, on junk. And so it's really where you look at how you can be able to create. And more importantly, it's also time to look at how you can monetize and increase your monetization, such as what we do for companies to be able to add on to what they're currently doing. And more importantly, we share with people, we're here to buy you time. A lot of people ask on what's the return on investment, but what's the return on time of you getting more time with your family, your friends, things that you like to do, other than these things that most people hate doing or beating themselves up, trying to put it together and then putting themselves behind more than anything else because of the stubbornness, because of the ego, because of the pride that we don't want somebody else or asking somebody else for help because of that old mentality. I got to do this on my own, competition, watch me at the top, this, that, and the other. And this is where we share. We got to shred all of that old mentality. And I get it because I was that way, right? And I make no bones about it. I get that world, but we got to change. Old keys don't open new doors. You want something different, you got to do something different.
Well, and that's why it is always fun to ask folks who are a couple steps ahead, right? What do I do next? And so that's exciting. I don't know that I was actually aware of this as an option until I found you. Really. Well, David, thank you for coming to the Dear Business Coach podcast. So I know now to get myself over to the hello LLC.io, correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I got that. All righty. So what we'll have to do is next time I have an experience to share that is more 3D, you might have to coach me on how to explain how to share that with the world, because this is we want to increase engagement. So that's what I'm going to keep coming back to you on. Next time I'm in a live room with you at one of your events, I'm going to be asking you the definition of crypto and how do I get more engagement.
Absolutely.
So it's no secret to my listeners that I'm am asking all of the dumb questions, if you will, hopefully, so other people don't have to. But truly, you made me giggle when you said, "What do you think you're going to be doing in a self-driving car?" I actually don't. I don't know. That probably shopping, I guess, is the answer. Okay, well, David, thank you so much. I hope you have a great afternoon, and we'll talk again soon. I hope I'll see you in one of your events.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Not end. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Elizabeth, coming to you from the Walker Consulting Work Studio in Floyd, Virginia. This has been an episode of Dear Business Coach.